Now let's talk about the United States. Next month, a new president will take office. Like many recent American leaders, Donald Trump has appointed Indian Americans to key positions. But he's not being able to shield them from racist attacks. His AI advisor, Sriram Krishnan, is facing a flood of hate. This is happening on X, the platform owned by Elon Musk, one of Donald Trump's closest allies.
Opinions vary.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Opinions Varied. It's Opinions with an A. Please like, share, and subscribe. And are Trump supporters racist? Well, that's the question that's being asked right now due to his latest appointment. That's a person who's going to be working alongside David Sachs in AI. His name is Sriram Krishnan. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And he's drawing some ire from some ardent Trump supporters, especially on X, because they say he is a staunch supporter of the H-1 visa program and that he's going to expand it and actually remove the cap. There is some debate about that, but let's get into a report. This one is from a platform called First Post, and they are going to say, yes, Trump supporters are being racist in this case. And then we're going to hear from a channel I watch frequently. It's called Pinball Preparedness. I like his content a lot. And he's going to explain the H-1 program better than I ever could, and we'll go through that. And I'll try to interrupt him as little as possible so you can get an idea as to what the program is all about, how it works, and why he thinks also no race issue involved, but why he thinks this appointment policy-wise and ideologically wise is a awful choice by Trump. And then I'm going to give you my reasons as to why maybe Trump did make this choice. So without any further ado, let's go.
Some of these posts demand the deportation of talents like Krishnan. Others accuse Indians of exploiting America. Ironically, many of these racist posts come from Trump's own supporters. Our next report has the details.
Did any of you vote for this Indian to run America? Posts like these, featuring Sriram Krishnan, have been circulating widely on X in the past 24 hours. 2 days ago, Donald Trump picked Krishnan as his AI advisor. The decision was cheered by leading figures from the tech industry, and for good reason. Krishnan has an impressive resume. He has worked with the world's leading internet platforms like Facebook, Twitter, which is now X, and Snap. He also did a stint with Andreessen Horowitz, which is one of Silicon Valley's top venture capital firms. These roles paved the way for Krishnan's White House appointment. Unlike the claims of this bigot, Krishnan won't be running America.
Obviously, you could see the slant of this broadcast. They're calling the person a bigot. So people are allowed to disagree with, people, and they could bring up their ethnicity, I guess, in their post, and it's not necessarily bigoted, but maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's all up to the interpreter sometimes, but that's how they're interpreting it.
He'll be advising Trump on AI or artificial intelligence and working alongside David Sachs, the former CEO of PayPal. Trump has picked Sachs to be his White House AI and crypto czar. But Krishnan's appointment has sparked a firestorm of racist reactions, particularly on X. Take this post, for example, which urged Donald Trump to deport Sriram Krishnan. Here's another one calling Indians third world invaders.
Yeah, okay. Don't like that.
And this one claims that Indians are exploiting America. What
are certain countries exploiting America? Yes, 100%. Just because you say that certain countries are exploiting America doesn't make you a racist or a bigot.
Striking is that all these accounts are verified profiles on X. Krishnan's views on America's H-1B policy have been targeted in particular. He's called for country-specific limits on H-1B visas to be lifted. Then there are the conspiracy theories, like this one claiming that Krishnan isn't even an American. X has tried to fact-check these lies by attaching community notes.
Well, at least X allows people to attach community notes to combat things like this now, correct? Used to be that there was no community notes. You couldn't. It was just put up there. And a lot of times, well, all the time when X was owned by Dorsey, it was against conservatives and there was no way to correct something.
David Sachs wrote a post himself to defend his colleague. Even Elon Musk stepped in to support Krishnan. But as often happens on the internet, it's the hate that gets the loudest voice. Ironically, many of these racist comments come from users who are vocal supporters of Trump. Like Nas, who wrote this viral and racist post on X. Take a look at his profile. NAS has reshared many posts from Trump's supporters. They urge the president-elect to uphold his America First approach and block more talented Indians like Krishnan from coming to the United States.
Okay, so right there, I don't agree. It's not blocking more talented Indians or anything from coming to the United States. It's blocking people who people don't feel fit into the America First, ideology, the America First policy. So there's people that could come from another country that could fit into that agenda, no problem. People seem to think that this gentleman doesn't fit into that. They think that he is his thinking on the H-1B program is bad. And we're going to get into that with, as I said, with Pinball Preparedness. He'll explain, as I said, way better than me.
This wave of hate shouldn't come as a surprise. It reflects a deeper reality in American society that Indian Americans often face racism in America. A survey from last year shed light on this troubling issue. The findings were stark. 1 in 2 Indian adults reported facing discrimination. The reasons: their color, race, or ethnicity. The reaction to Sriram Krishnan's appointment only reinforces this truth. Racism against Indians is deeply embedded in American society.
All right, so I think at the end there, also a little over the top. If racism against Indians was so bad in American society, why do so many people from India want to come here? That's a question that needs to be asked. It's a logical question, is it not? I ask it all the time. If this is such an awful country, why does everybody want to come here? So that again, I think a little dramatic there. Will I say? Am I going to deny that some of the posts on X against this man are not right? No, they're racist. There are some that are racist. Yeah, no doubt. But there are some that are simply questioning what he believes, and does that align with Donald Trump, MAGA, and America First? That's legitimate. You're allowed to ask those questions, and it's not racist just because the man comes from India. Anyway, as I said, we'll get into Pinball Preparedness. If you do, if you do like stuff like this, like prep channels, and just he talks about a lot of stuff, check out his channel. He's excellent, and he did a great job at the hurricane in Tennessee, North Carolina. He did an amazing job in setting up people to get relief, and single-handedly, I mean, delivered thousands and thousands of goods, food, and everything to people. He was amazing. So I'm just giving him a shout out. Awesome channel. Watch it if you can. He's going to explain H-1B visas for us really well. So let's go.
In regards to qualifications, is the guy qualified? Yeah. In regards to his ideals, I don't want him within 1,000 miles of Washington, D.C.
He's talking about Krishnan.
And I say this based on my professional career. Sriram Krishnan is an ardent supporter of the H-1B program. The H-1B program is basically the guest worker program, and it's primarily used in the IT sector and the engineering sector. Okay. And what it is companies bring in foreign workers to do the job. Software engineers, software developers, mechanical engineers, whatever. The law in the United States says that a company is allowed to bring in a foreign worker if they have exhausted all efforts to find an American-born worker to do the job. The cap on H-1Bs each year set by Congress is 65,000, plus another 20,000 for people with advanced degrees, masters and up. Okay. So total, we're supposed to bring in 85,000 H-1Bs allowed to come in the country each year. And usually the promise is, you come over here, we give you the job, we'll help you get your green card, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? And then eventually, in the long run, they can wind up becoming citizens. I have no problem with that. The problem I have is that Krishnan here wants to expand the H-1B program and remove the cap, and so that companies can bring in as many H-1Bs as they want. Now, I'm going to give you the ugly side to this. There isn't a company in the country that follows the law and exhausts all possibilities to find an American citizen to do the job.
How would you even enforce that? That's a good point. How would you even enforce that law? How would you say how would you know that a company exhausted all ends, every company, and they exhausted all ends to find an American citizen to take that job? How would you even enforce that? I don't know.
Before bringing in an H-1B. I say this with over 20 years experience in recruiting and recruiting in the IT and engineering space since 2008. The way this is supposed to work, okay, is an H-1B is supposed to be hired at what's called prevailing wage. So I will just make the numbers easy. Let's say, for an example, company X, not formerly Twitter, I'm just using that, needs to hire a software engineer. And the person needs to know, pick a platform, I don't care. Let's say they need to know SharePoint, okay? And their SharePoint engineers get paid $100,000. Company X is supposed to look around for a SharePoint engineer for $100,000 in the United States. And when they cannot find one after exhausting all efforts, then they can hire an H-1B. Here's what happens. Company X goes to one of these Indian recruiting firms, okay, and I won't name them, but you can easily look them up, and tells the firm, find me a SharePoint engineer, we'll pay $100,000, prevailing wage. The recruiting firm says, fine, no problem. We'll bring over Raj from Delhi. We'll pay Raj $60,000. We pocket the other $40,000.
It's a racket.
The company says, we're paying prevailing wage. We gave that recruiting firm $100,000. What they paid the person that the recruiting firm, is sponsoring the visa for, that's not on us. The recruiting firm needs to make money, all right? They don't work for free. I don't work for free. But the deal is that engineers should get paid $100,000, and there should be a premium on top of that to pay the firm. That's not how the companies see it. So what winds up happening is this drives wages down because the company then sees, well, gee, we can have somebody else do all the recruiting for us, find us all these people, and we don't have to pay our HR department, our internal recruiting department, anything. We don't have to pay those people. So they do all the work for us, and it doesn't cost us any more money.
It's a domino effect, is what it is.
Right? I mean, this is exactly how you do it. And it's exactly what goes on. It drives wages down. It puts Americans out of business. Not only the software engineer who now doesn't get the job, but it puts out the recruiter out of a job. It puts the HR department out of a job because there's less work to do. So the company goes, gee, we're saving money. So then what happens, and I've seen this firsthand, I'm telling you.
This is incredible.
Is you have the H-1B manager, okay, the guy who is running the engineering department, who then only wants to hire, for the most part, Indians, okay? And no offense to Indians, everything, I got you, all right? But this is just reality, and people need to be made aware of it. So then
right,
this person...
just because you're mentioning some nationality, and it doesn't make it racist. This is just the reality of the situation, like he's saying.
Only wants to hire his fellow countrymen.
Right.
So this further removes all the native-born citizens of the United States out of the picture. This I've seen happen multiple times. Payday rolls around, and there is a line in front of the manager's office for each one of the employees to pay the manager the bribe that he gets for hiring them. Because now this person got brought over from Delhi, they can potentially start a life in the United States. Trust me, they get a lot more money working here than they do in India. And they're happy. And so this manager takes his 20 employees, and each one of them kicks them a couple of $100 every payday. Manager goes, great, I got a few $1,000 in my pocket. These guys go, I've got a job in the United States. The Indian recruiting firm's going, good, we pocketed $40,000 on each one of these guys, and the only one that's screwed is the native-born citizen. That's how it works, guys. That's reality. Let them tell you whatever you want. I've seen all this with my own eyes. I worked in this industry for over 20 years.
It's amazing. And it's just another example of these programs, any program that the government gets involved in, where it just gets taken over by corruption, fraud, and abuse.
So how does it affect us? Well, here's the other problem. The diploma mills in India do not teach the guys the skills that they need. So they come over here with substandard skills comparatively to the native-born citizen here, but they're cheaper for the company. So the product they put out takes longer to get done in regards to software engineering. There's more bugs in the program. It doesn't work as well. And it winds up costing more in the long run, which is all passed down to you when you go buy your new phone, tablet, computer, Xbox, whatever. Play on the internet, okay? Watch YouTube videos. Whatever you do, it costs you more, it doesn't work as well. This is the issue. It's no different than everything else. We've all complained about DEI, right? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. We'd rather see the most qualified person get the job than somebody based on their skin color, sexual preference, gender, whatever.
All right, content of the character, as Martin Luther King Jr. had in his dream, correct? We've gotten so far away from that, nobody even mentions it anymore.
Correct? This is the same issue. It's, gee, we'll hire this guy because it's cheaper for us, even though it makes the product more expensive for the consumer. This is where we, the public, are getting screwed. This is why I think this appointment by Trump is idiotic. Most of Trump's decisions are good. This one is atrocious. We all have kids and grandkids that are trying to go into the workforce. Good luck to them.
All right, so there you had Pinball Preparedness laying it out pretty simply. I mean, I learned something there. I hope you did too. Again, waste, fraud, and abuse, corruption, anything the government gets involved with. This isn't how this program was supposed to work, but now it's embedded. It's how do you take? There's this theory, right? What's easier to do? Put the hook in the fish's mouth or rip the hook out? Well, obviously it's easier to slip the hook in, right? Ripping it out causes a lot of pain and damage, and that's what all of these things do. Obamacare, can't rip that hook out now, can we? It's too embedded in society. Social Security, Medicare, the Department of Education, you rip out the Department of Education, there's going to be some pain. Yeah, a lot of pain now. It's embedded in society. This is how the government works. This is why the government wants to keep putting these programs in, and they want them to stay, because once you try to rip them out, you cause so much pain, nobody has the political stomach to do it. And that's what's going on with these H-1B programs. And here's what I think. People say Trump needs to get advised better on this pick. Trump knows exactly who this guy is. You think Donald Trump doesn't know that this guy has a reputation, that maybe he wants to expand the program and remove caps? You don't think he knows that? He probably knows that. You know why he's probably doing this? This is probably because we have rhino senators who he needs to vote for his picks for his nominees. And this might be a favor to them because we know they want these programs to expand because that's what the donors tell them. That's how this works. So Trump's going to have to eat a couple of them. You understand? He's got to eat this one. The guy's qualified, obviously qualified to do the job. So you have that. That's fine. But his ideals don't align with MAGA America First. And Trump's probably saying, you know what? I have a guy, Sachs, that's going to be working with him. Maybe he'll keep an eye on him. Maybe he's going to keep his word. He's not going to be a guy to push to remove caps, and he's not going to go undermine me. But I think this is Trump having to give them something in order to get his picks, not his nominees, voted for with the Rhino Senate. What do you guys think? It makes perfect sense. And 2 + 2 is 4. That's what I think. I don't think Trump doesn't know everything, especially this time around. Trump is, making a list, checking it twice, dotting the I's, crossing the T's on all of these people. He knows this is one he probably had to eat in order to get a couple of rhinos to put Hegseth through, or Tulsi Gabbard through, or RFK through. This is how it works. This is the slime, swamp, garbage, sewer rats that we're dealing with in Washington, D.C. That's it. Reality. As far as the racist thing, yeah, a couple of those tweets are racist, 100% racist, but most of them are not, and Trump supporters are not racist. We know that. Just because you got a couple of morons spouting off on X because they don't want this guy because he's pissed them off because of his stance on H-1Bs and removing caps and bringing, just because of that, and they're going to spout off and say something stupid doesn't mean Trump supporters are racist. Okay, we know that, but the media is going to run with it, like you saw. This obviously Indian outlet ran with it. that's fine. Whatever. We know the truth. But I just thought it was interesting, and I learned something. I wasn't, everybody hears about the H-1B program and, how it's bad for the American worker, and I learned now specifically why and how it's rife with, as I said, corruption, fraud, abuse. So, I don't know. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Is there anything we could do about it? Do you think this guy is going to be a guy who's going to undermine Trump and try to expand this program and go behind his back? I don't think Trump's going to allow it this time. I know he's got a million other things going on, but this time I think he's ready. This isn't going to be Lucy with the football pulling it away from Charlie Brown at the last second anymore. No more. Not this time. Not this time. So tell me what you guys think in the comments. I appreciate you watching. Follow me on X. Follow me on TikTok at Opinions Vary. On here on YouTube, I appreciate you subscribing. Please like the video. We'll see you next time right here at Opinions Vary.
Opinions vary.